Attorney General Eric Holder, the first Attorney General in history to be held in contempt of Congress, civil and criminal contempt. Now he could also become the first Attorney General to be barred from the practice of law. Last week, the D.C. Bar Association received a formal complaint against Holder for ethics violations linked to the Fast and Furious gun-running scandal. Holder's Justice Department issued this statement, quote, "It appears to be a desperate attempt by some factions to drag out the destructive political games that Americans are rightly fed up with." Joining us now, the two men behind the Holder ethics complaint. They're also the ones who are out in front on the story on Operation Fast and Furious. They broke the story. Mike Vanderboegh, the author of the Sipsey Street Irregulars blog, and David Codrea, whose writings on the subject can be found at davidcodrea.com. Thank you all for being with us, and congratulations on breaking Fast and Furious, and your reporting on this has been outstanding. And now comes your complaint seeking to disbar the Attorney General. We've talked to some folks, and Lou Dobbs and I talked with Wallace Gene Shipp, the Office of D.C. Bar Counsel. He said of 1,500 complaints filed each year, they only follow up on some 500 formal investigations. 25 to 50 lawyers actually end up being disbarred. What would you put your odds at? And I'll start with you, if I may, David.
I'm not sure that the D.C. Bar is going to do anything except be apologists for the administration. It's kind of an expectation. But I don't believe that Mike and I have ever said that our ultimate goal in this was to insist that they disbar. What we were trying to do was get them to investigate. And I've seen the dismissal of the complaint and saying, well, you know, it wasn't professionally worded. Well, there has to be a mechanism for the average citizen to be able to file a complaint, which is what we did.
Well, Mike, you guys are considered in some quarters rather dangerous. You're fans of the Constitution. You seek truth. What has been the reaction to your activism?
Well, the ATF whistleblowers love us. I can tell you that. It may be a small fan
a large
club,
measure of the American public, I can answer part of the question. A large measure of the American public appreciates everything you guys do.
Well, thank you. We've been lucky, you know. There's an old soldier's prayer that goes, "Oh Lord, make my enemies both arrogant and stupid." And we've been fortunate that the administration has been all along both arrogant and stupid. And the latest stupidity is claiming executive privilege, which many lawyers were absolutely aghast that they would do that. It's tantamount to admission of guilt.
You know, as you constructed, I mean, you scooped everyone on Fast and Furious. You've worked and followed closely the whistleblowers of ATF. Where do you think that we are headed now? Because there seems to have been, if you will, a pause on the part of the House Oversight Committee here. Not that I'm in any way criticizing them. They've done great work. But it seems that they have hit, if you will, something of a momentary pause, at least, as they try to divine what the courts will do with the civil contempt.
I would react and simply say that the pause is only on the surface, and that based on calls that I've received even as late as this afternoon, Eric Holder has much more to worry about than our bar complaint.
Well, let's talk about what else there is to worry about, and that is that the unsealing of those indictments, five men indicted, the indictments unsealed by DOJ. Your thoughts, David, first about the timing of that unsealing and the purpose.
Yeah, it seems to have been done in a way to make it look like, hey, we're out there, we're doing something, we're out there going after the real dangerous bad guys. I question not only the timing, I question revealing and unsealing the identities and posting the pictures and then letting everybody know, oh, by the way, these guys were out there ripping off the drug cartels out in the desert. You know, they don't take lightly to that. It's like a Sopranos episode. You know, you're not going to let somebody come in and rip off your gang and rip off your mules and not expect that for good public relations you're going to have to take some machetes to some heads and hang some people from bridges. I just think that that whole thing is just very curious, the way that they did it.
And what, as we wrap up here, what can we expect next in the Fast and Furious scandal? Mike?
Well,
I'd say that Mr. Holder will likely see a story coming out that more than suggests that he's already committed perjury. I think other agencies will be drawn into this, Department of Homeland Security, the State Department. You know, when you smuggle thousands of weapons to a foreign country, it's a violation of the international trade and arms regulations. And the amount of interagency cooperation that has to happen there, there's a lot of people that are in trouble. The people who were charged with enforcing those regulations are the people who actually broke the regulations.
Well, gentlemen, we thank you for being here. We appreciate it. Stay dangerous, will you? Mike Vanderboegh,
thank you very
David
much.
Codrea. Thank you.
We'll do our best.